and gentlemen, boys and girls, cheerleaders, welcome to the episode of Tatami Talk. My name is Juan. Digital Corporate Anthony. It's a judo podcast for judo players by two judo players. And as you can see today, we're at a non-disclosed secure location known as Hollywood Judo Dojo.
No, it's just a set.
Just a set, yeah.
Yeah, we replicated this.
See those feet right there? Those feet made us some money finally on OnlyFans. So we actually build a set. We're on a sound stage here in Burbank Studios, all right?
I noticed the other day, like I was watching some MMA clip online, and the OnlyFans is like sponsoring it now. Are they hosting UFC fights on OnlyFans, or is OnlyFans sponsoring?
As far as I know, there are some smaller federations, MMA federations, that use OnlyFans models as a ring girls and will sponsor fights sometimes.
Oh, so they're not posting the fights on OnlyFans?
No. As far as I know, the UFCs make way too much money to post fights on OnlyFans.
I don't know. They're jumping between ESPN and whatever. Like
they're going from
Paramount, ESPN. Before ESPN, there was something else, and then ESPN and Paramount.
Now they're going to Paramount, Which we be at Anthony's house more often to watch fights because it's something like $5 a month, something like that, supposedly.
Yeah.
All right, so Anthony, I know you don't like when I do this to you, and I ask you how you doing. But I'm not going to ask you how you doing. I'm going to ask, how's today's coaching clinic?
Oh, yeah, it was, I mean, I've taken it like a billion times now.
You're always here.
Yeah, but it's always, like I said before, it's always interesting to see a new group of people come and the way that they approach the tests.
Yeah.
If you want to find out what the test is, you got to come take it.
So some of you guys may or may not know, Sensei Philippe, our head instructor, he's a certified coaching instructor, so he holds coaching clinics here at our dojo every so often, like twice a year, I think, at least. And we're one of the few places that actually have an in-person coaching clinics, not the online ones. I get to take all stuff online and test and all that. You come to the clinic, you get to talk to people, communicate, bounce ideas, ask questions.
I know Sensei Philippe was talking about it during the intro of the coaching clinics. Like, he got a lot of requests of doing it remotely online. I took the last one online. Because I was kind of like, there's no reason why you can't do this online, was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying online doesn't work, but it will take a different kind of skill set and it will be different. The way that Sensei Philippe ran it was very personal. There's some interactions and discussions that literally cannot happen on Zoom. It just will not happen. So that was the reason why it can't be held online.
Another good thing about our coaching clinic that we have is that we also bring in Brian Hershkowitz, that's a certified referee.
We did a referee part.
He actually goes through a lot of the new changes in rules. And people, again, that's a great thing. You have questions about rules like, well, what about this? What about that? I saw this. And he's great at answering questions right then and there, you know? And it's one thing that's really good thing. If you come to one of our coaching clinics, write questions down. So you don't forget them, remember later, go home like, oh, I wanted to ask that. You have people you can actually ask here. So how many people had the coaching clinic this time?
We had 16.
16 people.
Yeah, not as much as last time, but
that's still a good number. To me, I think that's a good number. Yeah. And any far off dojos?
I didn't ask, honestly. I was a little I think I was preoccupied with writing the notes for this episode. So,
You're cheating.
Yeah. So while they were talking, I already had the outline done, but I was adding more details. So.
All right. Did anything interesting come up? Any interesting questions at all?
We were just talking about this. The rules were updated last November, December, and then apparently back in April they had another referees meeting, but that's not posted publicly online.
Not yet. Yeah.
So I
thought I saw something online of it, but it is an old video that's posted saying that was. Again, I get fooled by those all the time.
So I'm talking about the rules even from like back in December, right? A lot of people are not familiar with it. Yeah. So that's why you should listen to Tatami Talk.
We go through it so you don't have to.
So that's just one of the surprises I saw was like a lot of people still thought, oh, that's a Yuko? Oh, you can't go out anymore? Oh, you can break grips now? Like that's been happening for quite some time. So either IJF or USA Judo need to do a better job of marketing the rules.
Just publicizing that it's out there. These are videos you can watch.
Yeah. But what else can we say without making it sound like we're shitting on them? So, yeah.
He's shitting on them. I love you guys, all right? I think you're great. It's great, fantastic, amazing.
Please give me my fifth dan.
In 5 years, I'll be playing for my fifth dan. Unless some crazy happens, I can apply earlier, but in 5 years, I'll send that paperwork in. All right, so that was the coaching clinic. Great thing. If you guys ever interested in it, I posted on our Instagram and stuff. And we started to talk about during the podcast when we're going to have one. So, just look for your local Yudan Shikai, see if you can have one near you.
Yeah. Also, since What were you gonna say next?
No, I was just gonna go on the next topic. But you got something else?
Yeah, I think like since you were talking about your shoulder surgery when you got injured, last time I talked about how I gotta finish recording so I can go to the doctor, but getting knee surgery in November. So if I'm not all drugged up, we might have to shift the recording schedule around.
No, okay. They're bringing stuff. I'm always bringing stuff till he dies, probably. I got shoulder surgery a day before. I was supposed to be in and out surgery.
Yeah.
I was to go in the morning, come out by the afternoon. My surgery is more afternoonish time. So I kind of had this inkling that I might have to stay overnight. So I had a shoulder. I'm supposed to be in and out. Had shoulder surgery. They kept me overnight. I had to wait till a doctor to finally come dismiss me at 5 or 4. So I'm like, the doctor can come later. I'm just like, I got to get this podcast. And I'm texting Anthony also like, I'll be there.
I was like, do you know we can wait?
Because they had a guest that day. I think we had 2 guests that day.
Yeah, I think I was going to do it without you.
Yeah.
It was Aaron and Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had 2 guests that day. That Dave, thinking about Dave right now. Yeah. That day. So as soon as the doctor released me, my friend came pick me up. I'm like limping, my legs still numb, all the shoulders all messed up still. And I did that podcast. So I did that
I'm just saying,
next day.
I haven't checked the dates, but it was on the day that we're recording. Then, but
it's okay. You put your knee up. No one's gonna see your knee. It's underneath your desk anyways.
We'll find a way around it. The quality might decrease a bit because I'm the one who edits it, and I'm all drugged out. But,
it's be all psychedelic, guys.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with me, since this is the one time where you're not asking how I'm doing.
No, now you are. This guy complains all the time because I care about him, all right? Our audience wants to know.
I'm running out of things to say when you ask me that question. So I'm going to try and swap the way that we do the intro. So,
all right. So we love when people send us questions, viewer emails and stuff, leave comments. We had a comment from a person. God, I should have looked it up. I should have read right before record. But so someone left a comment that they listened to our podcast, they started doing judo, and they went to go try out a dojo, which is great, fantastic. I love that for you. But he got a loaner gi, okay? You're all about loaner gis. I don't like loaner gis that much, personally. But so he got a loaner gi, and he got loaned a blue gi. Perfectly fine. We're allowed to wear white and blue gis on the mat. But because he got a loaner gi that was blue, he felt he did a little side-eye, people looking at him a little weird and stuff, like, why is he wearing a blue gi? And it was given to him. It was given to him by the instructor. So he asked, so what's the deal with blue gis? And is it okay for me to wear a blue gi? You know?
Was that the question?
That's kind of the question.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like what are our thoughts on blue gis? And Anthony, when I sent Anthony this whole thing when we got in the email, he's like, well, just go watch our gi episode.
Yeah, like, what is wrong with you? No, I'm just
some people just listen to the podcast and don't follow the YouTube channel.
We made a YouTube short talking about jiu-jitsu gis versus judo gis. What's the difference? I pulled out all the gis I had. Some of them are all old now, so I donated them.
Yeah.
But go watch that. But I think that's a pretty specific. This is why I was surprised that that's what he asked, because that's a pretty specific question.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go into a little bit of things.
Yeah.
And I'll just tell you that in judo, you're allowed to wear white and blue gis. When most people first start, they get a white gi. They start off with white gis.
You know, when 2 white gis really love each other.
When Anton gets really upset about a call being bad because 2 white gis mesh together and he thinks it was the wrong call, he creates what's called a blue judo gi.
Yeah, so the history is basically Anton Gisink, which is the first person to win the Olympics, non-Japanese too, which was a huge deal. He was the one who pioneered the blue gi, because back in the day, the TVs were black and white. So it was kind of hard to see what's going on.
And you have a little red sash behind you that you know who's different.
He introduced the blue gi to make it easier to differentiate the sides. And we talked about this in a previous, I forgot which episode, so we're going to talk about it again. In one of the All Japan Judo Championships that happened, Japan is the only country that was like, we're going to just keep using blue, white gis, right? So they made a really, really wrong call on Osaikomi, like a pin, right? And it was basically, long story short, it was because they were both wearing white gis. The referee misunderstood who was on top, where the limb was, all that stuff. So they fought out the rest of the match, and to the point where it was not correctable. It couldn't be corrected anymore. Not the referee's fault. So they ended up giving double gold that year to those 2 people because it was a really bad call.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after that, they had an investigation and were like, okay, just for that one tournament, we're going to have white and blue gi, and only in the finals, the final block or whatever, not during the qualifying.
Japan is so very traditional. Like if you go to Japan, if you want to go to Kodokan and train, you have to wear a white gi. If you're a man, you can't wear an undershirt. Like I had my strap for my shoulder on, and they thought that it was a rash guard, and they're like, "You need to take that off." I was like, "But I need it." And so luckily, Sensei Moss told me in Japanese, "Oh no, that's for his shoulder. That's his shoulder harness thing." They're like, "Oh, okay, he can wear that." But they're like really strict when they go to Kodokan. White only, no blue. And even the judo dojos that I went to, it was just white and blue.
Yeah. So
it was actually it was majority. Did I even see any blue gis? I think I maybe saw one blue gi.
Yeah.
And I think that was their instructor that wore the blue gi.
Yeah. So basically, everyone should own a white gi.
Yeah. If you compete, even if you go to competitions, all competitions, white gis are mandatory, blue gis are optional until you get to like the big national tournaments and stuff.
Or if you travel and train, you should just have a white gi.
Yeah.
Just have a white gi.
You never know what the dojo, how strict you're going to be. Don't come wearing like a BJJ camo, black, pink, brown.
Let's stick to the question about the blue gi.
Yeah. Okay. Get off topic. I'm getting off topic here.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no problem with you having a blue gi. There's no problem with you using a blue gi when you first start judo.
Ask the instructor. Yeah.
But the instructor gave him a blue gi.
Yeah.
All right?
It depends on the dojo.
Yeah.
So.
But this is just kind of like my thing. For me, when I first started doing judo, the only people I saw wearing blue gis were black belts and brown belts. I never saw a white belt or any citrus color ever wear a blue gi until our dojo started getting more popular. And we got like more and more people, and people like started buying their own gis. Like, oh, I want to buy a blue gi.
Well, they come in, and you're like, oh, that guy has a blue gi. Why? Like they ask that. Just why does he have? And I have to explain the difference, which is what we're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So now when like I see a white belt wearing a blue gi, like it threw me off. What threw me off the most is seeing a yellow belt wearing a blue gi. Like that is like when I first saw that, I was like, oh, what is
bright?
What is this? oh my God. I've gotten more used to it now because we have so many like citrus colors wear blue gis. So there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, when you first start, most places and most people are gonna start off with a white gi, because blue is always optional.
Yeah, this is something I have to warn people, because we have white gis stocked in our office for people. Because if they say I want a blue gi, but I don't know my size, I'll be like, you can try on our gis and then order it online, because we don't sell blue gis. But I have to tell them the blue gis will always run a little large, because they're not pre-shrunk due to the dyeing process. So if you're like wearing a 4.5 or something, and then you buy a blue gi in the same size, expect it to be a little bit bigger, because it's going to shrink. That's what they account for.
But that's the one thing about blue gis also, they tend to shrink faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the dyeing process.
Because of the dyeing process. So cold water, hang dry only, all right? Unless you don't care, then put it in a dryer and want to shrink a lot. Like I was one time, funny story, I bought a blue gi from one of our like local manufacturers out here, and it fit me fine when I first got it. By the time I got rid of it, it was like it was like almost like a karate gi. It was like so high up here. I gave it to this other girl in our class that like she wears like a size 3 or something, and it fit her fine. I was like, how was I wearing that?
Yeah, the other thing, which is why, personally, this is the reason why I don't wear blue gi, other than I don't
think I ever see you wear a blue gi.
I have one for competition and for demos and stuff like that, but I don't really, for demos when we make videos, but otherwise I don't wear it. Because the new blue gis, when you buy a new blue gi, they bleed, right? They bleed someone brand new walks in, my tape and my gi is always like filled with blue afterwards. Yeah. Because a new blue gi will bleed for a few washes. I don't want to do that to other people. I just think it's not that I'm saying I hate it when it happens to me, but I don't want to do that to other people. Yeah. Personally. So I rather do white. And also I wash my belt, I wash my rash guard and everything. I just want to put everything in one wash. I don't want my blue gi to bleed all over my rash guard and my belt and all that kind of stuff. I mean, now I have a black belt, it doesn't matter. But when I had when I had like a different colored belt, it would like get everywhere. So.
Speaking of bleeding stuff, now this is a little off topic. This is no more about gis and stuff. I hate, this is a little side, some people out there might feel this. I hate when someone dyes their hair recently and I'm wearing a white gi. And
she was here today.
Well, no, it was not just her, but I've had it with other people. I've had it with men, women. And I'll get hair dye, like I'll see it on their own gi, and I'll see it on other people's gi, their hair dye on. It's like, I'm not working with that person today.
I'd rather hair dye than hair wax, because I've slipped on hair wax before.
Yeah, we've actually had to tell people before, like, please stop putting 3 flowers in your hair, all right? Stop putting hair wax in your hair. It's getting grease all over the mat. Or wash your hair before you get on the mat.
Yeah, so basically no one cares about blue gi. Just ask the instructor, see the dojo allows it, and then just be mindful of the size thing and also it bleeding. So don't mix it in with your whites when you wash it.
There's nothing wrong with being a white belt wearing a blue gi, all right? If someone looks at you weird, it's their problem.
Tell them to go argue with
buy me a white belt. Buy me a white gi then, all right? This is all that I can get. They all cost the same also.
No, the blue gi costs more.
Do they?
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. The blue gi
really? I was going for the same price usually.
That's why we don't stock them.
This guy from the manufacturer. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So one of our students who listens to the podcast, and I actually got some other people asking me, like, why don't we do reaction videos?
Because they don't do well. We did them one time, a long time ago, and no one looked at it.
No, that reaction video was, to put it in context, that reaction video was about analyzing, breaking down the Olympic match.
Yeah.
And I explained how we can't upload the Olympic match onto YouTube.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's going to get removed like that.
Yeah. You guys don't understand. Like most of you guys, some of you guys do, some of you guys, well, so-and-so does it, blah, blah, blah does it. Well, blah, blah, don't give it. Okay.
Nope.
IGF is very strict on their content. It's funny. They'll allow certain people to
because they have a deal. They have a deal.
Exactly. Yeah. They have a deal and stuff. They'll allow certain people to put stuff up, but most of the time they don't allow nobody to put nothing up. All right.
Yeah. I'm sure most of you guys who watch this on YouTube are familiar with the Judo channel YouTube channel. The Judo channel.
The YouTube channel.
Judo Highlights. Judo Highlights, right? That guy from Judo Highlights. So he actually had his stuff removed before.
Yeah.
For a while, and he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna continue the channel. And then it was like he didn't post for a few months, and the next thing you know, he was posting again. But he's like, use my code for Judo TV. So it's clear
and it wasn't Blue Line like his was, you know.
Yeah. So it's clear that he worked out something with IGF where he is allowed to use the footage, right? So I'm afraid of doing that because there is fair use. Right, so I could.
So if we flip it, turn it black and white and upside down, we might be able to get away with it.
No, there is fair use. So I could say hey, for example, the unsafe series, right? I use IGF clips in the unsafe series because it's like fair use.
Demonstrations.
Right? Yeah. Well, it's
educational.
Yeah, I think reaction videos is not a strong case for fair use and. What legally not, I don't care, right? I'm talking about how YouTube interprets it. So, there's a there's a channel you link me all the time, Grappling Eric.
Yeah. He does a lot of funny videos.
Yeah, so he does reaction videos.
Yeah.
That's actually what he does, reaction videos.
Yeah.
And he got his YouTube account banned.
Yeah. He only does, I didn't even notice until you told me that. I was like, really? Let me go on YouTube. Oh my God, it is gone.
His YouTube account is banned because he was doing reaction videos. And now he only posts on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
So he was crying about fair use, blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested with who's right or wrong. I just don't want to deal with that thing. I also personally, sorry, Grappling Eric, Grappler Eric, whatever. I think reaction videos is super low.
Come to Hollywood.
Super low effort. I'm sure, I understand why it's entertaining, right?
They are entertaining. They are
entertaining.
I get it, and I understand why people like it. But yeah, we have a thing where we want to keep our channel, the podcast channel going on and stuff. Like I said, we do this for fun for us, for all of judo and stuff. We don't get paid for this. We don't make no money off this. No matter how much these Tootsies could make some money for us, we don't make no money off these, okay? So, and we've tried doing watch-alongs that didn't do that well.
Because it's not included, and
Yeah, and we could do it that way. Like if there's a thing where people send us a bunch of stuff and we made a day like, oh, we're gonna do a watch-along at this time, this day, and we'll react to them. We could try to do something like that, but it just hasn't worked out the best.
Or we can react to it on Instagram, which is what that guy's doing. But anyway,
we could do that.
We could do that, but my point is, I don't have much interest in it because it's low effort. I feel like it's just for entertainment. There's no value.
Oh, come on. It's totally valuable entertainment.
There's no, there's outside of entertainment, there's no value in it. And that's not the kind of content I want to make. Maybe you can do it because you're in the entertainment business.
Oh, snap. Look at that snap.
You are in the entertainment business. So I think you could do it, but I would never do it. Because I just don't have, don't have enough time, and the podcast is taking up much time. I don't want to produce content that has no value to me. So that's why we don't do reaction videos. Breakdowns, I guess we could do that.
We've done it a few times. Yeah. We've had some people send us some stuff for breakdowns, but we haven't had a lot of that sent to us. And a lot of questions that we have had sometimes It is just like we're good friends. We debate, we talk about stuff all the time. But there are sometimes where we don't agree, and I'll let Anthony do his thing, and he'll let me sometimes just do my thing on our own separate stuff.
Yeah. Also, I feel like back to the value thing. I don't think breakdowns has a lot of value. I was just telling this to someone, and those who are, how do I say this? Those who are familiar, those who are higher ranked or more experienced will know what I'm talking about, because I'm sure we've all seen something as a white belt, and then we thought we understood it, and then we went back, and then years later we look back and we're like, how the hell did I think I understood this?
Well, that goes to my old saying of like, your judo only works on Instagram, you know?
Yeah, so I just don't think there's a lot of value in breakdowns. Again, I think there's entertainment value in it, because it makes you feel like you understand it, what's going on. But even if it's mechanically sound, the breakdowns, I can guarantee you that's not what's going through the athlete's head when they were doing that technique. There's an Uchimata breakdown video of Maruyama. Okay, and I don't think it's Judo Mat Lab, but anyway, he basically breaks down step by step what Maruyama does. Like, he shifts, breaks his posture, create balance, create distance, then he closes the distance. Then he does this. It's like, that is 100% not what goes through his head. That's not how the brain works. And anyone who does judo or any sort of martial art will know that that's not what goes through the head. You just do it, right? So what is the value of that breakdown?
Well, it's funny because the way you put that always brings me to the Bruce Lee thing of like, I do not hit, it hits all by itself, you know? I do not throw, it throws all by itself.
So the breakdown basically makes people, it could, on a,
I think with stuff like that, it more helps people to understand mechanics.
Yeah, I was going to say on the extreme end of good, it helps people understand the mechanics, but it doesn't help you do the thing, right? And then on the bad end, you have it's just being completely wrong. Like, they'll draw these fancy like graphics and diagrams and stuff like that, or just slow it down and point at this little tiny pinky flared up little thing.
You see, like, right there, his pinky's facing this way.
What this is, it channels his chi to his like
you see,
right
he pulls him in right here, and when he gets this grip right here, it's locked. And when this is locked, he can never escape.
It's just we're making fun of it, but I have seen tons of bad breakdown videos.
I've seen tons of bad breakdowns. Like, I've seen, it goes back to this, now we're getting off topic again and stuff. We always go off topic, but it's the whole thing of like, how I tell you, and I was talking to Sensei Brian about this one time, like, I'll put up a video, or you'll put a video, we'll put up a video. I see another good judo player put a video demonstrating a judo technique, explaining how it works in judo terms, gets 100 likes, maybe 500 views, okay? Then I see a BJJ blue belt put up an Uchimata video, 10,000 likes, 1 million views.
That's a marketing problem.
Amazing Uchimata video. That is so great. That is so good. Oh my God. And it's like, how does this work sometimes? Like, how does the algorithm work, you know?
Yeah, but we're not chasing views. I'm just focusing. I'm just focusing on the mechanics, right? And whether people can get something out of it. Because I've used those breakdown videos to explain. I was trying to teach one of our students, I'm not going to say who, how to do this particular way of doing seonage, right? And he's like, I want to do that. I really want to do that. I'm like, well, if you're looking at it and you can't see how it's done, you don't understand it, then look at this video instead. So I sent him a video of a breakdown of the core mechanic of doing it. It looks completely different. It's a different throw, but I was like, you need to get this mechanic down in order to do that. And he just could not understand it. So it wasn't until we came into the dojo and I did it on him that he was like, oh, that's what it feels like, right? So it's like, you can't replace that with video. And the problem with like, well, it couldn't hurt is it actually could hurt because they'll look at it and think it's something else. And then during practice, they'll try that. They'll lead them down a wrong path. That's what I'm saying. So I don't like to break down videos personally. So
that's why we don't do reaction videos. Sorry, but it does. It all
if you want to pay our lawyer fees or licensing fees to IJF and Olympics, we'll do it. Yeah.
You need to negotiate with the IGF that we could do it. Thank you, please.
We could do what Judo Highlights did and negotiate with them. But we talk so much stuff that would not fly as a sponsor, basically.
So Anthony, what's our main topic for today?
Survivorship bias.
Survivorship bias.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
Are you familiar with that?
Well, it's kind of like the old saying that I say sometimes to our old students, like, Before we were just one class dojo, beginners, intermediate, advanced, all in one class. Only the strong survive judo. You know.
Yeah.
So yes, I do know a little bit about it.
Yeah. So this was this is gonna be hard because I wanted to do this episode for a long time, but I wanted the blog post, like the Substack post, to come out. Maybe this will not be on Substack, be on Beehive. So I wanted that to come out at the same time because I wanted to go in more detail inside the post. So if this episode interests you and you want to deep dive more into that topic, specifically how it relates to judo, in my opinion, because you can always just go on Wikipedia to explain it to you, but I wanted to put it in a judo context, right? This episode, we're just going to cover like the surface level.
Yeah, we're gonna get too deep into. We're trying not
so
to.
if you just go read the Substack. I'll probably upload it.
Oh, and
this
he's
week.
the new queen bee also.
Yeah. So, survivorship bias. Let me pull up my notes.
All right.
One of the hardest part about making this episode is planning the notes because I want to make sure I word it in a way that people don't misunderstand it or take offense. If you Google survivorship bias, have you seen this image where I'm going to show it to you actually?
I don't know if we show this on the video. We might get flagged.
I'll put a link to it. This.
Oh my God, Anthony!
This photo.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen that photo before?
No, I've never seen that one before.
Yeah. Most people familiar with survivorship bias are really familiar with the World War II warplane, right? So it's a study done by a statistician called Abraham Wald, and basically during World War II they were looking at airplanes that came back, and they were looking at where the bullet holes were. Yeah. So this image basically shows where the bullet holes were. You look at it and you're like, oh, the wing, the middle, the tail, those are where all the bullet holes are. Yeah. So people not familiar with that bias would be like, oh, we should reinforce those holes and those areas. But basically, long story short, they should not, those are the planes coming back fine with those bullet holes. So he's saying like, we should be reinforcing those areas that don't have the bullet holes because it means they didn't come back. They didn't come back. Yeah. So that is the gist of what survivorship bias is. I will link that in the description. But how does that relate to motor learning, skill acquisition, judo? So we all know Sakuraba. Yes. Gracie Hunter. Yes. Yeah.
If you're on my Instagram this week, you would definitely, by the time this video comes out last week, you definitely know how much of a Sakuraba fan I am.
So if you go by conventional wisdom, it'll be like, let's do whatever his training is. Like, what do you do every day for training, Sakuraba?
Drink beer, have a pack of cigarettes.
Exactly. So instead of looking at just his whole program as a whole and what he does individually and the merits behind each thing he does, if you just blindly copy what he does, then we would all be smoking a pack of cigarettes in the back of Westminster High School right before a judo tournament.
Having a pack of
yeah, I'm gonna start buying beer and cigarettes for the kids.
Why not? Hey, I want you to win. Go out there.
So that's a really extreme end, right, of the survivorship bias. So yeah, Sakuraba would basically known to drink and smoke. Yeah. Leading up to and even right before a fight. So another thing that we commonly hear is like, oh, all the Japanese do it, right? They would just blindly copy what they do and say, well, Maruyama does it or Shohei Ono does it, then it must work, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It probably has more to do with the amount of randori they do, right?
Their training period.
Yeah, their training. Yeah. Yeah. They do, like, people look at what the Japanese do, like the uchikomi and stuff like that, and how they do it, but they don't put into account like how much volume of randori they do. And then by the time they're like in middle school or high school, they're like 15 minutes uchikomi and then everything else randori, and they do training twice a day. So I'm not going to link my sources because I don't think I need to, but a pretty like mid-level, not high level competitive Japanese school, they would do like 30 minutes of randori a class, right? Assuming they do one class per day. But they would train 6 days a week. So that would be 3 hours a week of randori, right? And then you multiply that by, there's 52 weeks in a year, but I use the week 45 just to take away the injury, vacation, holidays, whatever, right? So let's just use 45 weeks. That's 135 hours of randori a year. Okay.
Write this down, guys. It's gonna be a test.
135,
podcast.
right?
Be a test.
So a high-level high school judo club will train twice a day, and do 2 hours of randori 6 days a week, right? I'm getting this from people that actually train in these schools, right? So this is a high-end high school. So that would be 12 hours a week multiplied by the same 45 weeks. So that's 540 hours. So 135 for the conservative high school, and then 540 for like a high-level high school competitor. Let's compare that to like your typical American dojo. Your average dojo trains twice a week, right? And it's like, what, 30 minutes of randori max?
Is average only twice a week? Really?
Maybe not for this area, but your average community, your community center dojo that has all the adults and kids trained.
I always forget that we live in a very judo-centric area.
I didn't write down the math for 3 times a week, but it's not that much of a... It's still going to make my point, even if you increase it to 3. But your average dojo trains twice a week in a community center, 30 minutes of randori a week. Per class. So that would be 1 hour of randori a week. And in a year, you're going to get only 45 hours of randori.
Only 45 hours of randori?
Yeah. So I don't know how you can look at this number where they're doing 135 or 540.
So I kind of messed up during recording, but this is me editing it in afterwards. To clarify, the high-level Japanese high schools, many of them train twice a day. So it's actually 540 hours, assuming they train once a day. But if you double that, then it's 1,080 hours. And then I guess like give or take like 100 or 200 hours, because sometimes they do less randori in the morning or no randori in the morning and only randori in the afternoon or whatever. So just take it as you will.
1,080 hours. Sorry. So above 5,080. Oh,
so God. American judo typical 45 hours of randori. Average Japanese high school 135 hours. High level Japanese high school 1,080 hours. And then this is before we even go into like university level, which is even more randori than that, right? And professional. So I don't know how you can look at this and be like, yeah, the Japanese got good because they did this thing that no one ever does.
It's because they're uchikomi. It's the way they clean their leg in and out when they do uchikomis. That's what makes them so good, you know?
So that's a really, I mean, that's not an example of survivorship bias, but I'm just saying like you have to look at everything. It's not that something is like uchikomis, then it's automatically false. It's just you have to look at the whole picture and critically analyze each piece and see, is that actually what's contributing to their success? Or whether it's contributing to success only because it's done with the randori at that volume. Maybe separately, if they only did the randori at that volume, it doesn't work. If you only did the uchikomi, it didn't work. But it's very easy to test whether that works or not is don't do the uchikomi and just do the randori and see if you get the same results. It's like, this is hard training. You either do it or this is the wrong sport or the wrong club for you, right? Yeah. But now, because we've grown so much, we're accepting beginners, someone who's like overweight and's never done any sport before. If you send them to like Tenri or something, they're going to quit within like a month, right? Yeah. So we're accepting those, and it's fine if they don't want to compete or they don't have to be like the best, right? As long as they're still learning judo, how to fall, self-defense, like all the parts Kano talked about that was important.
Kano? Who's that? Is there a guy named Kano?
This guy right here.
There's a guy named Kano.
So as long as they get better, and it's good for their life, their health and everything, then I think that's completely fine. But this is where it becomes an issue, not an issue, right? But more of like something that people should think about. It's not an issue. People need to think about. When you ask someone, and I see this online all the time, it's like, I'm moving to LA or I'm moving to New York or something. Where should I go train judo? People will be like, oh, you should go here. The guys won multiple championships. They have like killers at the mat. And if this guy's like super overweight and he's just like, I just want to learn some basic judo, man. Like, yeah. And he's like, oh, everyone's saying this place is really good. And he doesn't know anything. Though they're going to quit. Right? Does that you have to look at how many people drop out. So the whole survivorship bias thing is basically don't look at only those who succeed, but look at those who have failed also. And here's a much more relevant thing that people can relate to, like colleges. If I say you have to be rich and also get perfect score in the SATs to come to my college, then does that mean the college is smart, like good at teaching, or does that mean they're just selecting smart people to go to their college?
Yeah.
Right? Like if in an extreme unrealistic case, it would be like if our dojo was like, we only accept Olympic champions. If you didn't, or we only accept Olympic medalists or Olympians. If you've never been to Olympics before, then
you have to be on the national team at least.
I'm using a hyperbole example, right? If you've never been to the Olympics before, you're not welcome here. But let's say we got all these Olympians training here because we pay them or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then everyone's gonna be like, oh, you need to go there because they're all these Olympians
go there.
They must have really good instruction. That's a example of not really survivorship bias. It's more like selection bias, but that's kind of what's similarly happening in a lot of places. It's just they happen to have like a lot of people that are interested in competing, whether it's the location or the socioeconomic status of the location, or people just randomly came in and became or someone who is an Olympian that opened a club, then they'll be like, oh, he's an Olympian. I want to be an Olympian. I'm going to train there. Then you're going to just get these same type of people gathering there. And the people who aren't that type of people are going to fail out. So this is why it's really important for me to gather metrics from our dojo. Like I know how many people dropped out. I sometimes message them and be like, was class too hard? Are you hurt? Job? All that kind of stuff.
That big scary Mexican instructor so mean to me. He runs such a hard class.
So long story short, don't just study those who are successful, but also study those who have failed. So because this is something that I think the American judo community really needs to reflect on for judo to survive. I'm not going to say grow, just to survive. Because the way that every individual fantasizes that if I just join this dojo, I'll be just as good as the instructor. Or this person is gonna kill judo. I'm just gonna straight up say kill judo.
Well, that brings up to something that Jimmy Pedro said a while ago in an interview. I think maybe you sent it to me, I found on my own, where he's like, you don't need to learn judo from an Olympic champion. All right, you don't need to learn judo from a national champion or like someone super high level. How do most kids learn how to play baseball? From a local coach that's a dad or something that's who has a regular day job, you know?
Yeah, obviously after a certain point, you probably should send them to
higher, when they're at a certain level and stuff. But when you first learn judo, and this is where like kind of this American thing I brought up before and other things, like the community center judo. Oh, you're learning martial arts at a community center? Oh, that must be bad martial arts you get to learn from there. You know,
I've never heard of that.
I totally heard that. My entire life I've heard that. Most people have this thing where like, oh, if you're going to learn martial arts, then you have to learn at a certain dojo or a gym at a certain gym or so and so. Where
I guess because
if you want to get your foot in the door, sometimes you just got to take a community center class and see how you learn. You know, see how it goes. It's also a weird thing because like you see it, and I'll see it sometimes on Instagram as well, on Facebook when I'm on it sometimes, where people will be like, "Hey, I'm moving to LA. Where should I go visit?" And it's always the two dojos that always come the most for some reason. I get Tenri. They have a reputation. They have a very good competition judo. If I was just a guy that just wanted to train judo and like not have dedication to a dojo, just go do randori, I would probably go to Tenri. Like that's what maybe if I was to move somewhere else, that's the kind of dojo I would look for, you know? And it's funny that with all the dojos in the LA area, you know, you got LA Judo, Hollywood, Golds, I just thought it's a curse right now.
The thing that blows my mind is a lot of these people recommend, not just Henry, they'll just recommend places without even knowing the instructor or having trained there. They'll just recommend based off of name or prestige or something. Some people would recommend us just because we have a podcast, for example. It's just like, do you even know?
Keep recommending us. So please go ahead. Do.
But
you can train with us.
So it's like, when people ask me for recommendations, I'm not going to recommend some place I've never been based off of, if I do say like, Juan, you visited there once, but he told me it was good, but that's Juan's opinion. I've never been there. That's what I will say. I'm not going to be like, oh, you should go here because Juan's been there and people there, like, I'm not going to say that. Even when people there are good, like, I see them in, let's say I see them in competition and they destroy everyone, I'm not going to recommend, unless someone's like a competitor, I'm not going to recommend someone who's like white belt to go there.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because as far as I know, Tenry stopped taking in beginners. They tell you to go to take the $30 beginner class that happens twice a month or something like that. So they don't have
beginner's class anyways.
They don't have beginners class all the time, but they don't allow beginners to come in and join their regular class anymore. You need a brown belt or a black belt. Yet I still see people recommending, like, it's like, I've never done judo before. Where should I go? Let's go to Tenry.
Yeah. So it has that name value.
That's not, again, we're already not talking about survivorship bias.
Yeah, we're already going off topic again. Sorry, guys.
There really wasn't that much to talk about survivorship bias.
Well, it's also like, it's just with survivorship bias, like how I think, but sometimes that people just see this image of like, well, you know, that's a big dojo. They must be really good, you know? Yeah. Like people serve, like the whole, like there's two, I think it's like almost like there's two types of survivorship bias. One where people see it's a very big dojo, so it has to be good. Yeah. Or that, you know, you want to know what? We have a small, compact dojo. Like I was saying, like we have 30 killers in our dojo, guys and girls that go out to destroy people. So I don't care if we don't have beginners, we don't have white belts. We're not.
Yeah, that's a different story though, right?
You know? But I'm just saying, there's two stories I like when it comes to survivorship bias.
Yeah.
One of like people like, well, I got killers, only the strong survive, and one's like, well, I got a huge dojo. I'm keeping myself alive here.
Again, it's not black and white, right? Yeah. It's not like survivorship bias shit dojo, not survivorship bias good. It's like we're talking about like, are they good because of something they do and teach, or are they good because they just selected for people that survived, right? Yeah. And it's not like it's yes or no. It could be both, a little bit of both, right? It could be maybe they do something that's like really helpful, and at the same time they do something that's not helpful that also makes people fail out. And I think I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I think the Japanese are a perfect example because they're winning medals, so they're obviously self-selecting the people that
even with judo decreasing in popularity, they're still doing
so well. There's something they're doing is working, right? But is it because of like the dangerous stuff that they do? Let's just keep word it like that. Because we talked about in a past episode about the Japanese Judo Victims Association. That's the only country in the world that has a Judo Victims Association, because so many kids were getting severely injured and dying, literally dying. We talked about that by the kind of judo training they're putting these kids through. No, does that mean I should do dangerous stuff that makes a lot of kids get severely injured?
The whole thing of
and all that kind of stuff in order to squeeze out like a bunch of champions.
But I could say the same thing about American wrestling, because there's certain parallels where I'll hear about Japanese dojos doing this, but then there's things that I know because of being in American wrestling, like growing up in that the situation and stuff. That I know there's stuff that we did back then. That's like, as a coach now, like I don't know how I could ask one of my students to do what I did, you know. And now I'm thinking like, man, how did my coach ask me to do that? But like, there's stuff that I would never ask any of my students to put myself through that I did when I was wrestling. So like, there's parallels. Like, there's not just Japanese judo. There's something in American wrestling. Like the whole thing about like kids were cutting too much weight and passing out and dying.
In wrestling?
In wrestling. Oh yeah, that was a huge problem. Like,
was there a wrestling victims association?
No, there's no wrestling victims association. It's just the government hears about it, and the government then hears about it and they put stuff in. Like my senior year of high school, because a college kid, because what happens is that you weigh in at the beginning of the year, like maybe I'll be wrestling like 145-ish. I'll finish the season at like 135. So you just lose weight throughout the season because you're cutting weight so much. You just end up losing weight. They had to change it, like I think it was my senior year of high school, or maybe my junior year of high school and stuff, that your first weigh-in is your max lowest you can go. You cannot go lower than that. But then what happened, kids were passing out really early in the season because they're trying to get down to the lowest weight, because this is what I want to fight at finals. This is what I want to fight at nationals. This is what I fight at state championships and stuff like that, you know? So we have that in the U.S. It's just maybe not talked about as much. But in the wrestling community, like we hear about it. Yeah. So it's like, there's like crazy things like how I would hear about Japanese kids would be in the morning running. Like, you know how humid Japan is. Yeah. When we got that in the South here in the U.S. Kids are running crazy in the morning before school, throwing up, continuing their run, then do practice, then go to class. It was the same thing in America. I put my like plastics on, I go running, throw up a little bit, and then keep running again, you know?
I was looking on YouTube because when I was doing research for the hours I gave out.
Yeah.
I was looking at how some of these top high schools train, and one of them had the kids running in the morning, and I was like, okay, fine, that's normal. And then they run to this. They run 4 miles one way, so it's 8 miles both ways. Run 4 miles to this step. You know how they run up and down the temple steps?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I was like, okay. And then after they did that, they started like one-legged hopping 130 steps up and then down. A little, like,
and they put someone on their back, do the
pick someone in their back.
Yep.
Yeah. So to do all this kind of stuff that I'm like, I'm sure there's a better way that is safer and does less long-term damage.
But that's not gritty and hardcore. All right?
I know that doesn't make
that doesn't look good
TV.
in videos.
Yeah. So does that mean
when I was in high school, we used to run in the creek. All right, there's big, like in Santa Clara, there's this huge creek and stuff. We would go running it through the Central Park and stuff.
So yeah, that's just, you have to really look at like why people are doing things, which ones are actually.
That would actually be, I think, very. And we're off topic again. That would be an interesting test to see how the French train as high school and teenagers and stuff, to the Japanese train high schools and teenagers.
There's a reason why there's no deaths in France
that you know about. I told you stuff about American wrestling you didn't know about.
Yeah. Well, I didn't look up wrestling statistics, but another really good example of survivorship bias would be like one of about when I complain to you all the time about one of my aunts falling to the pyramid scheme kind of products.
Yeah.
So she was like this is why I don't talk to her anymore. She would sell this product. Let's just say product. I'm not going to name
tiger
one.
penis.
She would tell people to stop their chemo treatment.
Oh yeah.
And take this product, and she'll be like, "Oh, so and so stopped chemo and took this product and her cancer got cured." I don't think it was that whatever bullshit product she peddled that cured the cancer. So, yeah, that's the gist of what I'm talking about. But I mean, and not just judo. Like I think martial arts and a lot of sports, it's one of the few things out there where when someone quits or fails or does bad, the coach it's almost never the coach's fault. It's just like the person,
like the college football coaches.
The person. I said sports.
Yeah.
Martial arts.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like the kid wasn't working hard enough, or like they didn't have the talent or whatever. Like it's almost never what the coaches did fault, because like, oh, we've always done it this way, and X amount of people, like 10 out of 5,000 or something, made it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it worked.
It worked on these 10 guys.
Yeah, it worked on these 10 guys.
I don't know the rest of these 500, but
it's your fault if you're versus like if it was like piano or guitar or any sort of other. Like, imagine I trained for 10 years and I still can't play the piano. You'd fire the piano instructor, right?
No, I've been trying to learn Japanese for 20 years now.
Or if you hired someone to help you lose weight and you're not losing weight. I mean, I don't know. If you did everything you
do a lot of cheat meals.
If you did everything the coach said, then you'd fire the coach. If you were cheating, obviously, then it's the same thing as sports, right? If the coach is like, you need to show up to class 5 times a week, and you're showing up once a week, then you can't blame the coach, obviously. But but if you're doing everything the coach says and you still can't do it, then I think it's some reflection needs to happen, because that's kind of
coach just ain't working for you.
That's kind of what I. With my Ushimata, right? I did everything these Olympians and instructionals, and they say I still couldn't do it. I'm like, maybe I should stop listening to them.
He has a beautiful Hanagoshi though.
Hanagoshi.
He has Hanagoshi. He has a beautiful Hanagoshi. His Hanagoshi is amazing.
But all right, even then I couldn't do it in Randori, right? So if that's, you've done everything that they said in these videos, instructionals, what my sensei at the time said, then I can't do it after 5 years, then maybe it's time to try something else. So, and that's ultimately what worked for me, was trying something else. So, yeah, that's survivorship bias.
Yeah, that is survivorship bias, and it's a complicated thing to talk about, because you don't want to like talk bad about anybody and stuff, because everybody has their own little way. But it comes down to, it kind of goes back to the whole thing of like what works best for you. That's where it comes back to, where like if you're in a smaller town or community that doesn't have any judo or has very little judo, you might be stuck with an instructor. Like this past week, I was, and I go off on a little tangent now. this past week I was working in Lancaster. Was I in Lancaster? Yeah, I was in Lancaster.
Everywhere outside LA County, I'm just like, I don't know what that is.
I know you don't know what that is. So I was in Antelope Valley doing this music video for the past 2 days. Out in the desert, okay? Way out in the desert. Almost in
What's
Mojave.
with all these music videos being
I don't know why
out
they
in the
want
desert?
I don't know why they're filming in the desert for. It's kind of a cowboyish song. When it comes out, I'm posting my stuff if I find it. It's actually a pretty good song. I think it's actually going to do well, actually, when it comes out. But I was like, I'm in this area. I'm like almost an hour and a half out of LA right now. Sometimes I like to do is I like to check out judo clubs or judo dojos when I'm filming somewhere. And I'm looking, it's like, there's no judo clubs in this area. Like, there's a couple of BJJ places. They had Kung Fu, an Aikido place. Of course, they had Taekwondo, some karate and stuff. Like 5 BJJ places in this small town, but no judo. So it's like, if I'm in this area, like if I lived here for some weird reason full time, where would I want to do my judo at? The closest place I find judo at was almost an hour back into LA almost.
Yeah.
So
that goes back into the supply problem we talked about, which is why Philippe was running these coaching clinics. Oh, it's freaking helicopter. Like people suggesting we need judo in schools or we need judo in jiu-jitsu clubs or whatever. It's like you don't even have the instructors
to teach.
They're talking,
and you don't have to be I would want everybody to be a good, decent instructor, but it goes back to the whole thing of like you don't need to be an Olympian to teach judo,
Related to the survivorship bias, like if you go if you actually go and talk to people or look online, a lot of people say they want to try judo, but they don't want to do your 100 burpees for warm-ups. Like, I'm serious.
Do you have a problem with my 100 burpees for warm-ups?
Yes, I do. I actually do. But
I know you do. That's why I do.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people are saying they're throwing out all these stuff and not reflecting on the training that's led by survivorship bias. So, I mean, even despite that, there's a lot of demand out there for judo, just not the way that it's presented right now. So, one, there's a supply issue of coaches we don't need 1 million coaches in LA, for example. We already
got 1 million coaches in LA.
Yeah, so like you need to spread judo out to other parts, and also the way it's taught needs to be addressed. I'm going to use the word addressed. So,
all right. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want to say about survivorship bias at all?
Again, I was really afraid of making this episode because of how it might come off as. So I have to reiterate, it's not a black and white thing. You have to look at the whole picture and look at how much of certain things are contributing to, that's like, I'm sure it'll be great to reinforce the whole airplane, right? But during wartime, there's supply constraints and all that stuff. So it's like, do I want to spend more reinforcing those holes versus the other parts? So that's what basically I'm saying. Like, just look at the whole thing, look at the studies and evidence behind each one. And when I say evidence, I don't mean like so-and-so survived it and made it. So that's not evidence, that's correlation. Well, let me correct that. That is evidence. That is evidence, but it's not strong evidence.
It's not strong enough for Anthony.
Yeah.
It ain't strong enough for him.
Anything can be evidence, right? Just whether it's proof or not is a separate issue. But yeah.
All right.
Short episode, so I can go home to my wife and grocery shop.
Keep that in there, all right? Yeah. All right. So please remember to like, share, subscribe. You can follow us at Tatami Talk on YouTube. Please follow the YouTube channel. We have tons of videos on there, lots of things, explanation on there. We'll do some more shorts in probably a little while, but actually we won't because you get knee surgery. But there's great videos on there, great resource. Okay.
We should record some before my knee surgery.
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
You want to send us things to go on the Instagram. You follow Tatami Talk on Instagram. You also have Tatami Talk on Threads. You want to follow me on Instagram, it's @Jerry_Juan on Instagram. It's Anthony Throws on Instagram. Now, so is there anything you guys want to talk about? Send us anything directly. You send it always to us at tatamitalk@gmail.com. All right, Anthony. Is there anything I'm forgetting? All right. So with that, don't forget to
reinforce the right parts of the airplane or slap the net.
Slap the airplane.
Slap the airplane.